We left Sahuarita after a week and pointed the van eastbound, away from the Pacific coast. We visited many of the popular cities on mainland Mexico during our last trip, so we're choosing to skip those and spend more of our time at places that are new. One of those places is Lago de Chapala. The heat in the town of Tequila was too intense as we drove through, so we abandoned the idea of spending a night there and headed towards the lake. Our first stop was a campground called Roca Azul. This is a bit of a weird place. In its heyday, I can see it as a bustling expat community full of people and activities. Now it feels mostly abandoned. Perhaps it's just out of season, with only a few residents and a handful of transient campers like ourselves. And of course, a bunch of cats. We saw an interesting spot on iOverlander during our search on the south side of the lake that looked pretty cool. This place is called Igloo Kokolo. These days, knowing whether or not we can let the cats loose to roam around is a big factor in where we choose to stay, both for their mental health well-being as well as ours. When we find a place that looks unique and interesting, we just have to give it a try. The owner, Chava, has been slowly building this plot of land for over a decade that has been in his family. He is from the Guadalajara area, but spent a lot of his younger years traveling the world. His wife is from Valencia, Spain, and they met in London when both of them were living there while working at the same restaurant. They moved back to Mexico and opened their own restaurant for many years, before selling it and putting all the money, sweat, and tears into this place. They called this method of construction Super Adobe. You may have also heard it referred to as earth bags, but they're one and the same. The idea is that you fill bags with the earth that you excavate from your own land and stack them layer by layer until they form walls for your structure. They are strong, environmentally friendly, highly insulated, and create a very unique and interesting shape for the final structure. It sounds easy, but there's actually a lot of technique involved to make sure you build a sound and sturdy structure. Chava and his wife started building these igloo-shaped buildings one at a time, and over the years, along with a couple of larger palapas, they now have over a dozen structures on the property. Besides letting overlanders camp, renting their igloos as hotel rooms, they also offer workshops for anyone interested in this building technique to come and learn all about it. Moshe is their dog that lives here on the property. He can be a firecracker at times and a sweetheart in another. Our cats are always intruders into someone else's territory, but their hierarchy at a new place is usually established pretty quickly. Toby and Twin are textbook examples of the differences between fight versus flight. During our stay here at Igloo Kokolo, they hosted a group from all over Mexico for a workshop, and we got to see the construction of their newest igloo on the property. This property is completely off the grid. A well on the north side supplies the water. Solar panels keep the lights on, and the bathrooms have composting toilets. With just a few twigs burning in an outdoor boiler, you can also have hot water that feeds directly into the shower within minutes.
Well, I can't, so every time this spins once, this spins 3 times. So I did an estimate like 5, this spinning 5 times is a quarter of the wheel. So like, oh, it's probably 20. 20 times 3 is 60. So every time this spins, it's that. But I was wrong. Every time this spins, this might actually spin like 21 and a half. And I'm using this as a marker.
Okay. The valve stem.
Yeah. So it might be 64. So every time this spins 64 times.
Besides the igloos, which are unique and fun to stay in, they also have a more traditional structure with several units that you can also rent and stay in while you're here.
Just one place.
Oh wow, so it's like a four room. Okay, let's go see the other ones.
Yeah, it's upstairs
Okay.
in the back.
The upstairs flat perhaps has the best view of the lake from this entire property. We thoroughly enjoy staying here and can't wait to come back. If you're ever in the Guadalajara or Lago de Chapala area, consider visiting the less popular southern shore of the lake and book a night at Igloo Kokolo. Next up, on our drive across mainland Mexico, we climb up over 11,000 feet in elevation in search of the migrating monarch butterflies.